I just want to smooth you. Yeah, I you. Right rise with you. Die with you. You're the one I think about at 9 o'clock. I find my spot next to you. I just want to fly with you, transcend with you, each room's with you, trip with you.
Recorded live from the Engine Room in Broad Ripple, this is the Voices of Indy live stream hosted by Josh Gillespie. Voices of Indy is a show dedicated to giving you the opportunity to know the musical, visual, and theatrical arts of Indianapolis, Indiana. This week's guest is the genre-less and quite intentional Guy Zensei. So today's episode is sponsored by Indianapolis Independent Entertainment. IIE LLC's goal is to help grow local DIY artists, freelancers, and businesses within Indianapolis and generate more paying creative opportunities. Their mission is simple: to establish a network of creatives who excel in areas of need and connecting them with other network members. This way, they can help to expand the local art and music scenes. IIE believes that by eliminating some of the intimidating barriers within the entertainment industry, more opportunities will be produced for local freelancers and businesses. This will help Indianapolis become the place to go for art and music in the Midwest. If you are interested in learning more, go to their website, indyent.com. That is INDYINDIEENT.com, and fill out a free application to discuss how you and IIE can redefine making it together. And again, my guest this week is the incomparable Guy Zensei. And I'm going to keep on stumbling over this, people, because I want to say Guy, because I know another gentleman who also is Guy, spelled the same way. And so I naturally want to say Guy instead of Guy. So I apologize for that ahead of time, Guy.
It's okay.
Thank you for being on the show this week.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. You reached out to me.
I did.
And one, thank you so much for doing so.
Sure.
I am incredibly grateful, and I've checked out your stuff, and I'm not lying when I say it is very intentional. From lyrically intentional to the way that you play, it is all very intentional. Like there is no second guessing in how you are approaching the way that you play music. Tell me a little bit about your approach. Hold on before we even get to that, because we don't know you. I don't know you as well as I should.
It's okay.
Guy, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Guy. I'm a musician. And like, yeah. I mean, do you want to like ask me something specific about
Oh,
me?
no.
Like,
You can share this. This is a free-flowing conversation,
okay.
so feel free to share as much or as little as you want. It's all good, man.
Yeah. So like, I'm a musician from Indy. I would say I'm from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Fort Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in like Fort Wayne, Chicago, and Indianapolis probably like a third of the time, like each of those. And right now I'm just doing my thing, trying to like be happy and like make music and like just meet cool people and like grow the world in whatever way that I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's get to that intentional aspect of the way that you play. I mean, is that and the way that you write, is that for lack of a better term, I'm going to be repeating myself here, intentional?
Yeah.
I ask that just because I feel like your style of playing is very unique, but it's very soothing, but at the same time it grabs you. Like you just when you think like you're going to be like really relaxed and into this thing, in comes a striking chord that reawakens you, and you're raptured back into the song.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, I mean, how do you go about that? I mean, is that what your intention is?
I don't. This is gonna be ironic.
Okay.
But I don't have. My intention is to not have intention, like when I'm playing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of just feel
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, or like, say, for instance, if I'm at a show, I can feel like the crowd and like, so like, yeah, they're kind of getting bored. Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but it's mostly it's a lot. It's like a relationship. It's like
Yeah.
we're all here together and we're all feeling like these things at the same time. Like, I feel it as well. Okay, maybe like I probably should like switch it up a bit,
Mm-hmm.
or I should probably play these songs because of what is happening in the world at the time, or I'm just very specific. That's why I'd never like come in with a set list, because I can walk into a place and it not fit that. You know what I mean? Like and not fit that vibe. And so I always, and even the style of the way that I play it, like I might play something way softer or way more heavier, depending on where I'm at.
So your songs, they're almost like living documents to a certain degree, because there's a constant change because you're playing according to your environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's very unique. Seriously, I don't come across a lot of people who probably approach the way that they go about their set list, or for me, I mean, even I pre-plan my set list. And there's one song that I want to play that I keep on being like, I don't know if I'm ready to do that one publicly yet, just because, it's like, is this going to be the crowd that's going to enjoy this or not? But
get that.
For the most part, I go in pre-planned. I have my set songs that I've practiced, that I am prepared to play. And I think most people are like that. I mean, do you like the vibe of essentially not knowing what you're going to play?
Yeah. I think it's like, for me, just the way I live life is like to remove like expectations from things. So I don't ever want to go into anything expecting something, because when that something doesn't happen, you just get disappointed. That's why people get upset, because they place expectations on things. So like, I don't place expectation in that way. I don't place
Sure.
expectations on what I'm gonna do or what the outcome is gonna be. Like I've had terrible shows before, bad. Bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you know,
We all do.
It's just like I don't. It's about like the experience and like, okay, like I know not to do that again. I know, like, you know what I'm saying. I know to do this instead of that.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, I don't know if that answers the question.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It gives me that insight that, again, it's the one thing that I love about doing this show is that almost every single person I talk to has a unique way about themselves and their approach to performing. So, and not everyone has been the same, you know, and that I like the fact that when I asked you before we even started this, like, how would you classify yourself? You're like, I don't have a classification. So if you don't have a classification, which one I think is amazing, you truly are genreless. That's why I introduced you as genreless.
I know. Appreciate that.
How do you go about writing music? What's going on in your mind when you think to yourself, I'm going to write this? And like, do you write it with the expectation knowing that it can change at any moment?
I write it without expectation.
Wow. Everything. No, there's no expectation in anything, man.
But like, really, I don't even like write music, or like, really, I don't write music. Like, I just write more so like poetry, or I just write like what is happening, or like what, I don't know. Like, it's not like music though. It's not like I sit down and say like, you know, that's not how it starts, at least. You know what I mean? A lot of it is just like everyday life, and like I feel like it's not. I don't ever sit down and try to write. It's just I feel this way right now, like literally right now. So like this is just what it is right here. You know what I mean? And then, you know, after that, you know, add a little bit more. But yeah.
So I noticed this when I was listening to your stuff on Spotify, which check out Guy Zensei on Spotify. Seriously, do it. I noticed that you mentioned that you write poetry, so it's like you put music to your poetry.
Pretty much.
There's kind of a spoken word aspect almost to some of your songs as well. I mean, would that be an accurate way to portray it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's definitely fair.
Is that kind of, again, like an intentional thing? Like I keep on coming back to the intentional. So let's avoid the intentional. But I mean, is the way that you go about that? I think that's very unique in the way that you're approached. Is it? Do you like? I mean, most people when they write music, I feel, at least in my experience. In my experience, I tend to write the tune first before I write the lyrics. But when you go about it, you aren't even necessarily writing lyrics. You are genuinely writing poetry.
Yeah,
that's your approach.
Pretty much, yeah.
So do you put then when you have your poem set, do you know what kind of feeling, what kind of music that evokes, or have you even been to the point where you go someplace and you have the poem but you don't have a tune yet and you just actually write the tune on the spot?
Yeah, man. Like, yeah. So like Wingless Child is like that, pretty much. Like, I had that. I had the song and the guitar for much longer than I had like the the lyrics or whatever. You know what I mean?
You can call it a poem.
Poem,
I mean,
or whatever.
That was your poem.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I had that. Like, I've been playing, I just had that tune for a very long time. Like, and like one day something just came, like, or something happened, or I don't know what it was, but it all came out at that one point, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it is. And there's a couple other things like that, like on the demo tape as well, that are just like poems that I've had like maybe like years ago before I could even play the guitar, that I just like, oh, this, like I have a tune and I'm just reading through my stuff, like this goes well with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, just kind of put it together like that sometimes. And actually there's one time, like I think this would be a good like example of it. Like I told you, I work at Sweetwater.
Yes.
So like pretty much I work in the photography studio, and like I work with like a bunch of instruments and stuff. So
You're the one who makes me want to buy every single thing I see, right?
pretty much.
Okay.
But like I'm putting together like a piano or something like that, and it's cool. So I'm playing. I get to play the stuff. So I start playing the piano, and it's sounding beautiful, it's whatever it is. So I'm like, I got to record this. I recorded it with my phone. And went home that same day and like, man, I really like this, so like I want to write something to it. I guess this is one that is a more specific one, but it was still a poem though. And I said, well, what should I call this? And it was called People at Work, because I made the piano part while at work, and like you can hear everything like in the song that is at work, and the whole song is like about people at work, in like various ways. But yeah.
I'm just so very intrigued by the whole concept of writing poetry and then setting it to music. I mean, most people would probably say, well, that's just songwriting in general. I mean,
probably
lyrics are a form of poetry, but I don't know. I feel like there is a difference between poetry and lyric writing.
Yeah.
Would you say that's been your experience?
I definitely understand what you're saying. Like, it's not like the probably my lyrics and my delivery and stuff is probably like not the conventional type of song, or like that is like a song. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like I just happens that way. Like I'm the type of person just I don't like a bunch of words in music myself. Like just when I listen to music, so I try to make my voice more of an instrument than like the forefront, I guess. And like, that's how I try to deliver it. I don't know.
No, I can tell.
Yeah.
Again, the way that we're formatting the interviews this year is that we have, or this season, I guess, if we want to call it that way. But the way that we're approaching it is where we have our guests come in and they play 2 songs first, and then we'll insert that in later into the show. And I could tell by the way that when you were playing, that it's almost like the mic was secondary to you.
Yeah.
And not in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally worked, but it wasn't the focus of what you were trying to accomplish. It was the emotion that you were generating from your guitar.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
What goes into your poetry? What do you write what influences your poetry?
Like everyday life, literally. That's what just everyday life. And like, also like more heady stuff as well, or like
go into that a bit. What kind of heady stuff do you find yourself? Because I mean, I felt like Wingless Child was, there were some heady lyrics in that.
Yeah. I think it's just a form of poetry, and like this music and a creation, art in a general sense I found is a great way for me to express my feelings, because like as a person I'm not really able to do that. Like I can, but it's very like choppy.
No, I hear you.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I hear you.
It's like
I definitely feel that.
I feel this way.
Yeah.
But this like makes me feel, and like I don't know where I'm going with it, but like
No, okay.
that's it really. Like
no.
It makes me feel, man. Like I don't know. Like, it's just I can't explain it, but yeah.
No, I get it. There is a couple of my favorite musicians are just like some of their best work, in my opinion, has been their albums where it's just it's a solo album. Like, I mean, and when I mean a solo album, it's like it's literally just them, and they're not even singing.
Yeah.
It's just them and their guitar.
Yeah.
Phil Keaggy comes to mind, and he has this great album called Acoustic Sketches.
Cool.
And I mean, Phil Keaggy has singing albums.
Yeah.
And they're okay, but God bless you, Phil Keaggy. I still love the songs where they're just instrumental albums.
Right on.
Because you can really feel it in what he's playing.
Yeah. That's it there. That's the sauce.
That is a sauce. That is the sauce.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the heavy stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I feel like there is a lot of heavy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that like current events, not just everyday life, but like current events impact the way that you write? Or
Definitely. I was gonna play a different song that was kind of like would have spoken to that. And there's a couple of songs that I have coming up that are speaking to that as well. But like I'm not like a political person at all. And but like I see what is happening in the world, like in all different type of ways, and I just want to be able to say something about it and bring people together in more in a more loving way, like all around the world type of deal. But
very Lennon-esque.
Yeah,
John Lennon. Just for anybody who might think I'm talking about anybody else.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like, that's it. Like, I just want to bring people together and for everything to work out. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
no, I hear you.
Like,
no, I hear you.
Like,
I hear you.
That's it.
No, that's heartwarming in a lot of ways. And I think that, now is probably a good time to play some of your songs from the set that you did for us. The first track that you played for us is called Untitled. And yeah, I told you I swore I'd heard it before. But you said that there might be a live cut of it out there somewhere, but you haven't officially released it.
No.
Tell me a little bit about that song. What was, I guess when you were playing that, that's where I felt like it was very, again, I'm going to go back to the word, intentional.
Yeah.
In the way that you approached it, in the way that you played your guitar. Like, again, kind of like that, feeling the room and just hitting the chords a certain way to engage the listener in a different way than what they were previously expecting.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Untitled.
It's probably more heady song because there's a lot behind it, and there's a story behind it. I'm not sure if I'm like ready to talk about it.
That's okay.
Yet,
no, I'm not going to push you, man. I won't push you.
Like, it's just like a lot of emotions, like a lot of like heavy emotions, but it's like a release type of a song for me, or like I'm good, like it's all good, like I'm like done, I'm moving on, like my life is getting better type of a deal. But yeah, that's just it,
So that was your kind of like sort of an emotional break song. Like,
yeah.
Here you've emoted in your way. You're done with it.
Yeah,
time
was
to move on.
You got it right on the nose.
Okay.
I didn't want to say it that blatantly, but you got it.
That's okay. No, but that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That you can do that. That you can get to a point where it's like you've had these pent up feelings. I have a song that I recently wrote like that, where it's a song that I wrote about a job that I left 6.5 years ago.
I seen you talking about that, man.
Yeah.
It
was a song that I left 6.5 years ago, and only now, and after a year and a half of therapy, have I finally been able to really kind of emote that out in a song, and I finally feel free from it.
Man, that's another topic. The job thing. That's that's crazy. Yeah.
We can get to that. So, and then tell us about Wingless Child.
So Wingless Child that's like one of the first songs that I wrote, and like when I don't know what else to do, I'll just play that. So that's just what happened.
Okay, no, that's all right. That's
like,
all right.
But like, no, it's not like it's just like a throwaway song, but like, that song means a lot to me. Pretty much, it's like it is a testament to my growth, pretty much. Like, and not my growth in my own self, but just like, anybody like who's like who has struggled or is struggling or is like working towards something or has had like a, you know, any type of like, you know, hardship, but and is overcoming that and, you know, rising above that or whatever, all those good things.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to take an opportunity to take a quick break here, and we are going to listen to Untitled and Wingless Child from Guy Zensei. We'll be right back.
Me now, you came and went, been gone too long. I can't fight all night. I'm crazy, but I'm right. You're bitter, and that's fine. I am no saint. There's a bird that sings. He wants to fly, but he's got no wings. The wind is calm, it's a perfect night for a bird to fly. On the western end, there's a girl that cares. She wants a better life. She can't afford it, so she danced a while. There's a child that smiles, and in the streets he plays in poverty. He guns and needles, but he doesn't know what he doesn't see. It was 1994. The young lady brought her only child. Yeah, she nearly died on that fateful night. But the stars aligned. She made it through by the morning time. There was just one thing. The little baby, yeah, he had no wings. Kite and kite, oh, yes, she kite and kite.
Welcome back. That was Guy Zensei. This is Guy Zensei. Those were his songs. There we go. There we go. There we go. Those were his songs, Untitled and Wingless Child. Guy, I want to talk to you about your setup. Mm-hmm. I've listened to your music and I noticed that it is very minimal. And so when you came, you just had your guitar and your amp, and you basically recreated the songs that I've heard, just, again, played with different emotion. Right. But tell me a little bit about your... Is it fair to call it a minimalist approach to playing?
I think so. I mean,
okay.
I don't really know.
Sure.
But I think so. Yeah, I just have a guitar, amp, and one pedal. The pedal's pretty hefty though. It has reverb and delay, so it's like two pedals in one. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not like I just started playing the guitar really. Like, I've maybe been playing like for 3 or 4 years, and mm-hmm. I really only play when I perform. Like,
wow,
I spent a period of time like maybe about like 8 to 9 months like learning to play the guitar. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, before that I played like, you know, here and there. But after I spent that 8 or 9 months like learning how to play the guitar and like being able to like flow with it, I just like, you know, I don't know. You know, so I don't really know much about what I'm doing. I don't really know many chords. Like, yeah, I know I don't. I know maybe like 5 chords right now, and like the two songs that the two songs that I just played, mm-hmm. they were all the same chords, mm-hmm. same chords. Like,
you're doing a lot with little. All right, let's just put it that way. You're doing quite a bit with little. So the minimalist approach isn't just your setup; it's also the way that the songs are even written to a certain degree.
Yeah. So I'll just I don't know. I'm like I'm like a person that is like doesn't like a lot of BS or like extra stuff.
Sure.
Just in like a general sense, like
Yeah.
all the way around life. Like
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
I hear you. I
So
hear you.
like I'm not saying that music is that. You know, I'm not saying that by any means. But I'll do. This is something that I am intentional about. I want the music that I make to like. I want you to feel something, not like forcefully, but like I just wanted to like emit a feeling. You know, I wanted to allow me to feel something, and I just feel like that's the best way to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the songs that I know that I haven't made, that other people have made, that they're like kind of similar in that way. They're sparse and you can feel what is happening or like whatever it is. Yeah.
Do you feel like that space basically you're allowing for people to explore their emotions within your music?
I would hope so. I don't want it like to be like all like serious like that.
No,
either,
sure.
like,
No, I get it. I get it.
But like I do want like I do want people to like maybe start thinking about things like other than like what is like immediately in front of us, like our everyday lives and like having to go to work and just getting lost in like nothingness almost, you know. So when I play, it takes me out of that, you know what I mean? When I'm doing things like this, it takes me out of that, and I feel like everybody should be doing that to some extent. That doesn't mean everybody is like a musician. You could be an artist, you know. You can run your own business, you know. You could just go on walks, like, you know, whatever it might be. But like, I think people should think about having fun and feeling their emotions, and rather than just trudging through life.
So let's go back to your demo album. That came out in 2018, I believe. Was it that? Was it sooner than that?
It was 2021.
2021. My apologies.
No, it's okay.
My apologies.
It came out last year.
That was 2022.
Yeah, 2021 then.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, what went into that album? What made you decide to make a demo album? Was it intentionally supposed to... Sorry, I got to get off of that word. Was it meant to be a demo that you were releasing like as it was, or was this, you know, or I guess what went into the recording of that album, and what led you to decide to make an album, especially when you've only had, you know, a few years experience playing the guitar?
Well, before like playing the guitar, I made music. Like
okay.
Like I grew up like in band and like choir and things like that, and I never played the guitar though. But like I've always been around music and been doing music, and I released music like with as a duo. It's called IC. Before that,
oh
like,
really?
A couple albums, things like that. It was more of like a hip hop, synth pop type of situation.
Nice. To check that out. Is that available on Spotify too?
Yeah.
All
there's I have a couple albums, EP, and like there's a bunch of music out in that respect. But I did that with a good friend of mine. His name's Fat House. He's a producer and stuff, a writer. But so I've always been around music, so I wasn't scared to like release music. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah.
Or not scared, I should say, but It wasn't new to me.
Yes,
you know
yeah. You weren't unprepared.
Yeah. But the guitar thing was new to me, you know. But I felt like it was like it came to a point where if I didn't release something, then I would hit a wall. I hit a wall essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get it out in order to like make new stuff or like to do something or to progress or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it just came to that, and like I recorded it all myself, like in like garages, and like some recordings are like on my iPhone. I recorded one song like on the Michigan beach, Lake Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you capture everything that really is around you.
Literally, yeah. That's like anything that you hear in there, nothing is like, it's all real. You know, it's not like an insert of like a, bird chirp or something. It's like
that was the
real.
literal environment around you.
The literal environment, yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That adds to the art of it.
Yeah, that's to me. This just, I'm a natural person, like so, like I don't want to act like I don't want to act like something that I'm not, or like I don't want to supercharge my voice, and then when you go see me play live, I sound like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want it to all be natural and just.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah.
Nothing against anybody else.
No. That's the beautiful thing about being kind of the unique musician that you are, is that you can come into a Guy Zensei show and really not know what to expect.
Yes. Yes.
You know you're in for an experience. You know that much.
Yeah.
So tell me real quick, what is a Guy Zensei show like, and who have you been playing with recently?
It kind of just depends on who I'm playing with, I guess, or like what the environment is. Again, like I play to the environment, not in a way to like please people, but just I play to the environment. Like this is, if it's like a hard, rough night, I'm gonna probably play a little harder, rougher. You know what I mean? I'm gonna flow with the energy that is happening. Or if I feel like something that, if I need to like break some tension, then I might do something, specifically to do that. You know what I mean? Or
how do you break tension?
I don't. It depends on what the tension is.
Sure.
And like it could be. The tension can be hard, and like so, usually tension is a hard thing. So, playing something soft and that touches everybody, or that speaks to everybody, will lighten the mood and lighten the room and allow everybody to experience everything.
Yeah.
From me on forth, or like whatever, but yeah. Am I answering the question?
You did answer the question. You answered part one of the question.
Okay.
The second part was, who have you been playing with?
Oh, okay.
And where? So where can people see Guy Zensei?
I don't know, man. Like you just have to like, like last year though, like I played. Like I played like over like 50 like official shows.
Wow.
And like I definitely played like over 100 places last year, all across the Midwest, across the East Coast, from New York to pretty much Chicago, but spending a lot of time in Chicago, in Indianapolis, and in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
But playing with a lot of guys, like there's some people here in Indianapolis that have really like opened me up to the scene, and like just like welcomed me like gratefully. But Jeremiah Stokes, like he's super dope. Jay Stokes is dope. He's like a guy that just like showed me everything, and I appreciate him.
That's cool.
There's a bunch of other people like Sko, he's super cool. The Fountain Square Collective and all those people like Fee, with future friends, you know. So, but like all those people like introduced me to this scene, but you know, I don't know where I'll play. I just play wherever like people ask me to play, or like but hopefully everywhere.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
What is, since you've been playing around, how would you, I don't, rate's not the right word, but how would you, you know, how would you explain, or I should say describe, there we go. How would you describe your experience in the Indianapolis scene compared to something like Chicago or Fort Wayne, or even going up and down the East Coast?
Shoot, man, every city is like really different. Like this is very different. Every city is different, but like the same. Like you see like everybody's doing the same thing or trying to do the same thing. And it's just all kind of configured in a, you know, slightly different way. Indianapolis is like a place where like you can find like all type of music like everywhere, and it's very much like Chicago's a much bigger place and it has a much bigger scene just because there's more people and like it's Chicago. But it's very much like Chicago in that sense. And I think Indianapolis really has the potential, and like this is, I think it should be like the center of like the Midwest, because it is kind of, and like it really connects everything, or really Indiana does, you know what I mean? But yeah, like every place is different, but everybody's just trying to do the same thing and, you know, do their thing, make music or, you know, create or just try to make it. And this is what I think why I said before, like bringing people together. Since I have been traveling, and I've actually been talking with like a couple of guys about this, like I'm planning on doing like a Indiana tour with like a few people from like each city.
Oh, cool.
From like, you know, kind of the major cities in Indiana. And, you know, doing one in each city, and, you know, having local support as well from, you know, people around the city, and just having it be a tour, but also be like a local and like, you know, home-based type of thing, you know, where there's actual, you know, you actually know these people, and like, you know, and we're trying to grow something. And I feel like Indiana can become that, you know?
Yeah. My experience, I mean, not that I've experienced anything outside of Indianapolis in terms of a true music scene. But I'm with you. Like there is something here.
For sure.
There's something energizing.
Yes.
About what's going on. And I don't know if it's just kind of a post-pandemic, like,
I think that has a lot
really
to do
want to
with
do
it.
something.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with it. It does.
Yeah. Man, I feel like there's something that I'm missing. What have I missed anything?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, like, you know, if you want to ask me something else, it's up to you. How have you been?
How have I? No one asked me how I've been.
No, yeah. How have you been? What is going on? What do you have happening? How can we make, you know, Voices of Indy, you know, spread their wings?
Sure. Well, having people like you on helps for sure. And just spreading the word of Voices of Indy. And this season, I'm going all out and promoting the playlists that I have for Voices of Indy. I have Volume 1, which was the inspiration for the show. Volume 2 featured last season's guests, including one person you performed with, Keith Beatty. He's on there.
Yeah.
Finally released music.
Right on.
So I could finally put him on a playlist.
Right on. Congratulations, man.
And Volume 3 is in process of being created because we're early in this season.
Right on.
But Guy Zensei will be on my list, along with Angel Maker and John Boyle, and as soon as American Beach, who is Aaron Lucas,
I saw him. He was pretty cool, man.
He's a pretty cool cat. He's a pretty cool cat. But no, just spreading the word about what we're doing here with Voices of Indy, as we try to expand the knowledge base of what's going on in Indianapolis, culturally, musically, theatrically, just so many different avenues. We're focusing a lot on music this season because there is just so much to tap into. I mean, ultimately. So just, tell your friends.
For sure.
That's the biggest thing that you could do is
That's all we ask, guys.
That is all we ask.
That's all we ask.
It's very much like being in a band or being a performer. It's like just tell somebody, please.
Nothing. That's it.
I
got you. I'm gonna tell everybody.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I mean, I am a musician as well.
Right on.
I can't interview myself, so I can't be my own guest.
You just had a show on like the 20th.
I
right?
did.
How did that go?
It was a sellout. It was
Congratulations.
my first one. Thank you. No,
congratulations,
bro.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Huge shout out actually to the venue, Porter Books and Bread, as well as to my other guest, Brandon Clark, who is producing tonight, producing the show.
Appreciate
Shout
you,
out to Brandon.
Shout out Brandon.
And Paul Holland were also rounded out the bill, and it was just a fun evening.
That's great, man. That's always great.
So and that's happening every month at Porter Books and Bread. Third Friday of every month. Porter Books and Bread, sponsored by Indianapolis Independent Entertainment and Voices of Indy. So we're doing our best to get our name out there.
Y'all hear that? Pull up. Where's it at again?
At Porter Books and Bread in Lawrence.
Porter Books and Bread in Lawrence.
Yeah, or if you're wondering, Fort Bend. Just go to Fort Bend.
Just go to Fort Bend.
Just go to Fort Bend.
Where the Bend Forts or the Fort Bends. I'm sorry.
Exactly. But yeah, so we'll have another one coming up on the 17th of February and then 17th of March. 17th of February, we'll have American Beach, Aaron Lucas. He'll be on part of the bill, as well as Rollo Brand. And then in March, we will have John Boyle, who was last week's guest.
Cool.
And T.A. Parker, who was my very first guest on my very first Voices of Indy.
Awesome, man.
And I need to get him back on the show because when you start something new, it's amazing how things can change over a year. It's been a year.
You said you got to redeem yourself? Is that what you're saying?
I need redemption in that I just need to give him the opportunity to do more.
Right
that was the deal.
Cool,
so just to kind of give you an idea, the original intention of Voices of Indy. So I was doing this thing called 2 for Tuesdays on YouTube, a live stream. I would just play 2 of my songs and take a couple questions.
Right on.
And so I thought, well, viewership is pretty low on this. Maybe I get some people to play with me. And so then, it would be, we'd take turns playing songs. Yeah. That would be the idea. And I did that once, and that was with TA. I played a song. I let him play 2 songs. And afterwards, I was like, I just kind of made that about myself. I just kind of threw myself in there. This should have been entirely about TA.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I never performed on this show again.
Hey, man,
because it's about the guest. It isn't about the host.
Hey, that's a hard thing to do, though. Like, that's a very hard thing to. Congratulations.
Oh,
that's a hard
you.
thing to like separate. Like I had problems like doing that as well. But it's hard to like separate like those things when you wear multiple hats. So, like, dude, I really understand that. So
no,
like,
I'm glad someone can feel my pain.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, I quickly realized that this show needs to be about my guests.
I know.
So I actually don't tend not to talk about myself or what I'm doing.
Hey, you were a cool dude too, Josh.
Well, thank you, Guy.
So like, shout out to Josh. Thanks for having me, man.
No, you're absolutely welcome.
Yeah.
And before you leave, I have to plug the engine room one more time.
Yes, engine room.
Because this is where we are.
This is a cool spot, man.
This is a really cool spot.
Like I might come back here and like record something or something like that.
You absolutely should.
I don't know if you guys do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely they do it here.
Yeah,
Brandon would love to talk to you about that
I
afterwards.
I got some stuff.
And so the Engine Room Recording Company, which is where Guy and I are right now.
Yep.
And where I'm recording my second album right here at the Engine Room Recording Company. It is located in Broad Ripple Village, just north of downtown Indianapolis, and they specialize in making your projects go. Podcasters, bands, audiobookers, rappers, singers, songwriters, and everyone in between.
Everything,
Guy. The Engine Room Recording Company has the engineers and the equipment and the environment to fuel your projects. Check out Broad Ripple's recording studio by visiting for more information on their services, artists they've recorded, and gear they have at engineroomrecordingcompany.com. And be sure to visit their Instagram page by searching up at Engine Room Recording Company. Guy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
have been an absolute joy to be on this show.
Likewise. Thanks for having me, man.
You are welcome. I hope to have you again. I hope that are you going to be recording again anytime soon?
I like recording music.
Yes.
I have no idea, man. Like it's just I am like getting close to the point to where like
you're getting to that wall again.
Yeah, I'm getting to that wall again. I'm getting to like I feel like I need to do something, but that's just like all internal. But something's gonna happen probably this year. Like I'm gonna do something this year for sure.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'd like to maybe get a bassist and a drummer to play with, and maybe grow from there. Whatever. Yeah.
Nice. Well, the Engine Room Recording Company also does have bassists and drummers to play to help round you out if you need that.
Right on.
So like they said, everything in between.
Okay.
They got you covered.
I got you.
They got you covered.
Keep that noted.
Keep it noted. Keep it noted. Sometimes the plugs work. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
So, Guy, where can people find you online so that they can learn more about you and hear your stuff?
If you type in Guy Zensei, you can find me online. But I would suggest not to find me online and to find me in real life.
Yes.
Where real things happen. I'll give you a hug. I'll shake your hand if you don't like hugs. Or a fist bump if you are, weird about that stuff. But real interactions, people.
Mm-hmm.
Real interactions.
Yes, well, I have followed you on Instagram. That's where I know you, and like I said, you can listen to Guy's stuff on Spotify. That is, have we missed anything? I want to make sure that we caught everything about you. That you feel free to share.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Are you good, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, Guy.
Okay, cool. I think we're good.
I think we're good. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. My guest has been Guy Zensei.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, sir. This has been a tremendous time just to speak with you and to get to know you better. It is true. Get to know him in person. Don't just get to know Guy online. Get to know Guy in person. And check out his music. It's engaging. It's relaxing. It's genreless. All right, you won't be able to pinpoint where he is. I was going to say one thing that you brought to mind was Jim Morrison.
Yes.
And how he wrote. He was a poet.
Yes. Yeah.
With that played into the music, and so that was stuck in my head, and I meant to say something, so I got that. Finally, got that.
I love the Doors. I love Jim Morrison.
Yeah, there's some the way that you're approaching it. Not that your sound is like the Doors, but the way that you approach it, seems very Morrison-esque.
Definitely can see that. I haven't not thought about that, but yes, that's it, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Again, my guest has been Guy Zensei.
Okay.
I did it. I made it the entire episode.
Okay.
This has been Guy Zensei. And I really do appreciate you, and thank you for being on the show. Yep. Tune in next week when my guest is going to be Joshua Powell. Very excited to have him on the show.
He's cool.
He is cool.
Bro, you got a nice transition there.
Well, I try.
Great,
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
Cool.
He's a cool cat, so I'm very excited to have him on the show.
Yeah.
So tune in for that next week, and thank you for tuning in this week. Be sure to check out my guest, this week's guest, Guy Zensei, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.